Hey everyone, I'm going to do a live reading of Devil's Due, Satan Devils Colorado Chapter Book 3 by Manda Mellett, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1. Fuck! Break it up! Get them a fucking part! Four arms come around me, two bodies pulling me back. I continue to swing blindly for a moment, hearing swearing and an oomph before I'm better restrained. For fuck's sake, Beef, what's got into you? Lady, far stronger than he looks, snarls into my ear. You want to take me next? Peg, the sergeant-at-arms of the Satan Devil's Tucson chapter, growls. 'Cause I'll fucking break you in two. The voices at last seeped through the red fog in my mind. As the mist clears, Rock comes into view, standing in front of me, ruefully rubbing his jaw while moving it side to side as if to test it. One of his eyes is already swelling and is surely going to be black tomorrow. What the fuck have I done? Becca's going to be fucking furious with you, Beef, Rock warns as he shrugs off Drummer's assistance and questions as to whether he should call Doc. What the fuck just happened? I don't know. That's the plain truth of it. Rock's my best friend, has been since we prospected together. Tonight, at our monthly sparring match, I just lost my fucking mind and took out all my frustration on him. My eyes catch his, wincing at his left eye that's closing more by the second. Brother, I stop. How can I apologize when I don't know what the fuck happened? Suggest you go cool off, barks our president Drummer. Whatever's between you two, sort it the fuck out and not with your fists, Beef. Rock's looking at me, more curious than pissed off. He knows better than anyone. Losing control is so unlike me. Shit. Becca, that little girl doesn't deserve me sending her man back to her in pieces. Tomorrow she'll no doubt give me a piece of her mind, and I won't stop her. I love that girl like a sister, or more than that, I admit to myself. Maybe that's part of the problem. It hits me then why my anger came out and why the target was Rock, the man who's now confidently turning his back on me, his actions showing he knows whatever drove me to act out of character has left me. Peg and Lady feel my body relaxing and release me at the same time. I follow Rock down from the ring, squeezing my large body through the ropes and dropping down to the floor. Instead of going off to examine his injuries, he's waiting for me. Want to talk about it? My shoulders rise and fall. Probably need to rock, but not now, okay? You're gonna sort. The president's hand waves between Rock and me. Whatever this is, out? Sure, Drummer. Look, I'm sorry, okay? It's not okay, but the lame apology is all I can offer. Hitting out at Rock, taking out my frustration on him as I can't hit or shout at the person to whom my anger is really directed. Or, more realistically, at myself, at the situation I found myself in. Go home, Beef, Rock tells me, his eye now completely shut. We'll talk tomorrow. But I don't want to talk. Tomorrow, the next day, or the one after. The mess I'm in is completely of my own making. My office, 10 o'clock. You hear me, Beef? I hear Drummer, loud and clear. Seems my president has had enough of my recent behavior, my sour moods, my sulks, which culminated tonight in turning what should have been a friendly bout into something that could have become a murder scene had I not been pulled off by my brothers. A chin raised to him, then I purse my lips as I view Rock again, his hand stroking his jaw as he tries to ease the ache there. I got off uninjured as he, at least, was pulling his punches. If he hadn't, one of us may well have ended up dead. Prez has a right to be concerned. Eyes follow me as I leave. Wraith, the VP, shaking his head. Blade, looking confused. Joker looking from me to his partner Lady, even Hart's face is set and angry. All I can do is raise my hands in general apology and stride out through the clubroom into the fresh night air. Home. That was where Rock suggested I go. Home. But where the fuck is that now? The home I want to go to is my suite adjacent to Rock's that I had occupied since the Satan's devils had moved to this compound. I've given that up though, allowing him and Becca to have more space. They needed it, having added baby Rose to their family. Around me, my brothers have fallen like flies, all capturing their one, their old lady, the love of their lives. While I would never have made a move on Becca, she was Rock's from the start, even though he had had his head up his ass for a while. She's the image of the woman I want. Rock had taken time making up his mind, allowing me to become close to his woman. No one knows it was only my loyalty to him that had stopped me from stepping up and claiming her. She'd cut under my skin. Those long hours when she'd stayed with me in my hospital room while I lay close to death. She'd been there when I came back to life, but she was never for me, only for Rock. I knew it and I hadn't interfered. The perfect woman for Rock had entered his life when he least likely expected it. Just like it had happened with the others. Wraith's girl Sophie turned up out of the blue when she needed somewhere to hide and be safe. Drummer found Sam when she came searching for her father. Peg found his by the side of the road. One by one, Slick, Mouse, Blade, and even Dart, who subsequently transferred to San Diego, stumbled across their old lady. Even young Pal eventually got the girl he'd been waiting for. It seemed so easy. No one can doubt my brothers have all found the woman they know they can be faithful to for the rest of their lives. That's what I had in mind, what I wanted for myself, a wife and a family. It wouldn't have mattered if those kids had come ready-made, if she'd been the right woman for me. I thought I'd found her, but, as it turned out, I had been too hasty. Thought because she'd fallen into my path that I should make her my old lady. Starting my engine, I head out through the gates the prospect slides open for me, pointing my bike as Rock had instructed toward what everyone else calls my home. As I ride, I think how I couldn't describe it as at that. It's a house the club owns, the property where Hart had lived with his first wife, the single-story building which now houses the woman I claimed and her 2 children. I should be happy, I muse, as I kick down the stand before reluctantly taking the few steps toward the front door. This is what I wanted after all, a woman I could call mine, waiting for me to come home. It hurts to say it's not working out, and will be painful when I have to admit that to my brothers. They already know. Yeah, they probably do, though no one has said as much, all waiting for me to give them the words. The signs have been there almost from the beginning. I jumped in with both feet far too fast, and now I have no idea how to extricate myself. I'm a coward, knowing what I should do, but not being brave enough to cause the hurt I know will result. I open the front door as quietly as I can. The clock once belonging to Hart, well, we moved into this place fully furnished, shows it's 11 o'clock, and I might be lucky. She might have gone to bed. As I'm wondering whether I can get away with sleeping on the couch, tomorrow's excuse running through my head. I didn't want to disturb you. Footsteps sound. Beef, you're back. A tinge of guilt at the joy in her voice. A suggestion that maybe she thought I wouldn't come home. I may have considered sinking my cock into a sweet butt, Alice perhaps, she's sweet as pie, or taking Paige and Diva together as I have many times in the past, but I'm not so much of a bastard to do that to the woman who's trying so hard to make things right between us. An impossible task, though she doesn't realize it. The kids are down, babe. They've left some pictures for you. They were trying to draw your bike. Yeah, guilt me, why don't you? I don't need the reminder it's not just her I'd disappoint if I came out with the truth. Since her ex-husband went to prison and she got her divorce, she's pushed the kids at me at every opportunity. They're good kids, no complaints there. She's brought them up right. I like them well enough. If they had a different mother, maybe it would work out. But the woman who'd come into my life, the person I thought was meant for me, isn't the one I've been waiting for. She isn't Becca or anything like her. Sally, I begin, my voice tired. Beef, she interrupts, a look of concern on her face. What's happened? Taking a step forward, she raises her hand and touches my eye. I flinch. Rock must have got a lucky shot in. I hadn't even felt it. Have you been fighting? That right there. The look of disgust that she can't hide. I'm a biker. Yeah, tonight I went too far, but regularly spar with my brothers. It keeps us fit, sharp. She didn't mind violence when it rescued her from the situations she'd been in. But now, her background shows a gentle woman from a moneyed family. Just sparred with Rock, I explain. You know what we do, Sally. I'll clean it for you. Another woman's attention might be welcomed, not hers. Becca will probably be doctoring Rock, and after she's fussed him enough with the birth of Rose a few months back, her touch will probably end up with him having his cock teeth beside her. Nah, Sal, I'm fine. I'll do it myself. Sally might not be the right woman for me, but it's not because she's stupid. A wistfulness crosses her face, a clear sign she wants me to let her help. I'll get you a beer. I don't need serving, but how do you turn down a well-meant gesture? Sure, I'll be right back. While she disappears into the kitchen, I take myself off to the half bath, take a much-needed piss, then examine my reflection in the mirror. There's a small cut above my eye. No wonder it didn't register. Nothing to worry about at all. Still, to ease Sally's mind, I splash my face with water, getting rid of the dried blood. So tiny a wound, it doesn't bleed after. I stare at my reflected image as though it might have more answers than me. How can I tell a woman like her that things are not working out? I hadn't lifted a finger nor been an active participant when we got together. No effort required on my part at all. When she stayed at the clubhouse waiting for the media to lose interest in her husband's high-profile court case, she latched onto me. To my shame and regret, I hadn't put up much objection. It had been easier to go along with it. When it was suggested she move into Hart's place along with her kids, the thought of being alone had caused her stress. When she'd hinted she'd like company, I said I'd go with her, just to help ease her into her new life. Playing house had been a novelty at first, a woman I could call mine to come home to. When she invited me into her bed, what can I say? I am a man. I went. It was okay, I got off, made sure she did too. When my brothers asked if I was claiming her, I said, yeah. It soon became clear my preferred style of loving wasn't hers. My adventurous nature a complete turn-off. Missionary position was the only way she permitted me to take her. After years of variety, I soon got bored. Wouldn't step out on her though, not while I was with her. Her husband had beaten her badly, had agreed to stay away from her and had for 2 years, until a wife and family was helpful in his desire to have a political career. She'd been afraid of him, with good reason. In front of her, he admitted he'd get the sympathetic vote if she was killed. She's already been told she's worthless. How could I do that to her too? I never realized Sebastian Lawson had been her first and only boyfriend. Her family had kept her sheltered until they'd found her a suitable man. Now that I know, it influences what I can do. She has no knowledge of breakups, of relationships which don't work. Her husband wanted her dead, and I'm thinking of disregarding her like what? An worn-out shoe? Nah, I can't do that to her. I'll have to stay and make this work. Beef, you okay? Coming. I flush the toilet. Then I take a deep breath to fortify myself. In the living room, she pats the seat beside her. Got your beer, Beef. I wanted to talk to you. Please tell me you know this isn't working out. As I place my ass on the cushion, it dips, moving her body closer to mine. I lean forward to pick up the glass she's just placed there. Normally I drink beer straight from the bottle, but I'm not given the choice when Sally's around. I risk a glance at her. There's an excited gleam in her eyes. You know how you wanted me to ride your bike? I'm not one to place any particular emphasis of who the woman is riding up behind me. But as far as anyone's concerned, Sally's my old lady, and as such her place should be pillion on my bike. But she'd quickly disavowed me of any notion she'd be doing that. Too dangerous, she told me. You change your mind? Now that would be a good start, along with perhaps letting me stick my cock in her when she's on her hands and knees. One thing about Sally, she's got a great ass with hips a man could hang on to.